Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Self-Care CEO podcast. Do you realize that somewhere along the way, a lot of us learn that success requires sacrifice? And what no one told us is how often that sacrifice becomes self-abandonment. Not rest, not comfort, not convenience. Ourselves. Our bodies, our limits, our needs. And we called it ambition, but then ambition itself isn't the problem. It's what we attach to it. Ambition becomes dangerous when it requires you to ignore your body. When it rewards you for overriding your limits. When it convinces you that slowing down means falling behind. And that's not drive. That's self-betrayal. Wearing a productivity badge and mask. And for a long time, many of us didn't even realize we were doing it because we were conditioned, we were groomed, we were trained to do it. Now, self-abandonment isn't always dramatic also. Sometimes it's subtle. It looks like saying yes when your body says no. It looks like pushing through exhaustion because, quote unquote, this is just what it takes. It looks like ignoring resentment and calling it discipline. It looks like staying productive while slowly disconnecting from yourself. And because you're still functioning, quote unquote, no one questions it. Isn't that crazy? They applaud it. Even give you awards, which is why we're so conditioned to it. Now, high achieving women are often praised for their endurance, for their resilience, for their ability to handle a lot. But resilience without recovery is just prolonged survival. And survival is not the same as success. You remember we talked about that in the last episode? If you don't, go back and listen to it before you finish. Success doesn't need to cost you your health, your joy, or even your sense of self. And a lot of times we talk about consistency, but we really talk about, or we rarely talk about integrity. Consistency says show up no matter what, but integrity asks, is the way I'm showing up aligned with who I am in this moment? You can be consistent and still disconnected. But integrity requires your presence. Integrity notices when the cost is too high. Right? So let's redefine success for a moment. Success is not how much you can tolerate. It's how well you can sustain. Success isn't built by burning yourself down, which is what we think is such a badge of honor. It's built by honoring your capacity. That's the word of the past 2 years, capacity. And capacity is not fixed. It expands when it's respected. A lot of people fear that if they stop pushing, everything will fall apart. Have you ever felt felt like that? Like, oh my gosh, if I slow down, my world will crumble. I will break down. I will lose it. And we tend to fear it being lazy, or we think we might be replaceable. But here's the truth. The version of you that's constantly exhausted is not more valuable than the version of you that's regulated. Because regulation brings clarity, and clarity brings discernment, and discernment leads to much better decision making. And that's not weakness. Guess what that is? That's leadership, right? So, aligned effort doesn't feel frantic. It feels steady and it feels calm. It doesn't require you or I to override our intuition, but it invites us to collaborate with it. Aligned effort still challenges us, but it doesn't abandon us. There's rest built in. There's choice built in. There's room to adjust and make adaptations. So if you believe success has required you to disappear from your own life, it's worth questioning the definition that you're using. The truth is, you are allowed to succeed without betraying yourself. You are allowed to want more and still rest. You are allowed to grow without grinding yourself down. Forget this hustle and grind culture and mentality. Forget that. That's just hearsay. This season, we're not chasing success at any cost anymore. We're choosing sustainability, alignment, integrity. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about the pressure to be visible and the power of being intentional instead. Thank you once again for being here. And I encourage you to stay with yourself today. See y'all on the next episode. Bye.